Thank you so much for coming to the Odds and Ends Dep. My name is Ash. I'm the curator of this project, and before we get started on our video, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about what the project is. So, the Odds and Ends Dep is a two-part project aimed to reduce waste while creating and maintaining a creative outlet. The goal of the project is actually to help fund my future off-grid living dreams. So I'm hoping to move into a more tiny and sustainable housing while having some funding available. So the Odds and Ends Dep is the store portion of the project, where I will have repurposed soft goods and other odds and ends that can be purchased. And then I swear I've never done this before is the video series, which will explore me trying new interests for the first time in a zero to very low budget way. For the video project, we'll be as much as possible utilizing a circular economy. The items created for the project, I swear I've never done this before. If they're successful, will be sold as one-of-one items with NFC tokens of authenticity to help fund the project and future videos. The goal of the video project is to encourage artistic creation in ways that are more sustainable for the average person, proving that you don't necessarily need a garage full of tools to at least get started on your hobbies and interests. So as we're working to encourage circularity and circular thinking, if you do have any supplies and tools gathering dust in your garage related to any of the potential interests that I may have, there will be a list available. And you are a reasonable distance from Montreal, you can feel free to contact me at theoddsandendsdep@gmail.com, and we can discuss either bartering, selling, or donating to the project. Just want to mention as well that on the link available for the interests, there will also be a page that lists things that I may have in excess. So if there's something there that you may need, don't hesitate to contact me and see if we can help you get started on your own projects as well. So thank you so much for coming, and now we're going to get started. So right now I'm just heating up the iron because this is very crinkled, and we're going to iron it out, and then we're going to make something cute. Okay, so our item's been ironed. We are back. I do want to point out that I do have a projector set up. This is due to the fact that I sew, so I did not start with the projector. It's for something else, but we're utilizing it for this project right now because I'm not the greatest artist in the world. And I need a reference if I'm going to be drawing multiple circles. So we're going to do that. And we're going to create my logo today as a product because it's the thing that I could think of to do. And of course it's not going to be perfect because it's hand created. And it's my first time doing this. As I mentioned, the project is trying new things for the first time. So it's my first time doing rug punching. I actually got this kit during the pandemic because I thought that I would be interested in rug tufting or rug punching. And I never actually tried it because that's what happens when you have ADHD sometimes. You just don't actually try the things that you're interested in. So this is going to be me trying it for the first time, and hopefully it turns out nice. It's pretty hard to see actually the outline of this, but we're gonna go with close enough. It's also not super easy to draw on this material just because the warp and weft wants to take it in different directions a little bit, but again, we're doing our best with what we've got here. If I hadn't used this material, it would just be sitting in my craft bin for the rest of its life, so it's a good way to use it. Now there are alternatives, of course, to purchasing new items. I purchased this during the pandemic and I was a little bit less aware of, sustainability and the way that the things that we purchase affect the planet. Took a few years to get to that point where I was like, oh yeah, we live here. We should probably do better when we can. So I'm not saying that I wouldn't purchase it from the big brand website now, but I would definitely try and locate it used first, secondhand. Rug tufting kits are often found on secondhand sites. They're either called rug hooking, rug tufting, rug punching, things like that. And you can find them, on Facebook Marketplace, or you can find them, there are other locations where you can find used craft supplies, and they can be found there as well. And so, definitely, if I was trying this again, I would try and purchase used first. But since reduce, reuse, recycle, we're going to use the items that we have instead of buying more stuff. One of the things that you can look out for, obviously, there's rug tufting guns, which is like a whole different experience. Excuse me. Bring that back, thank you. So there's rug tufting guns, which is obviously an experience in its own. And then there is... They made, probably in the 70s, I would guess, Pentex made a rug tufting kit. That's probably your best bet if you wanted to go used on rug tufting, just to get started and see if you're interested in it, right? Because a lot of the trouble in hobbies is just getting started. You just have to do it. And then once you're doing it, you know a little bit more about the things that you need to upgrade, or the things that would make your life easier, the things that would make your life easier to upgrade, but you do have to get to that point first. So once you get started, you kind of have a better baseline. I didn't think that I would ever have a projector set up for sewing, but I do apparently, and that's just because, I got started, and then I learned, the things that would make my life easier. Now that I'm, 3+ years into my sewing journey, it's like, okay, yeah, I can tell that, the setup has made my life so significantly easier and less wasteful as well, because I'm not, printing out every single pattern, taping them together and cutting them out anymore, which is, how I started. It's how you start when you start sewing, unless you buy a projector right away. But yeah, so it was like, you're printing out every single pattern and you have them on paper, and then you have to tape them together, which takes hours, especially if the pattern is significantly large, right? Some of these patterns are like 30+ pages, and you have to tape them as accurately as possible, otherwise you mess with the sizing of the pattern. So it takes a lot less time to just boot up a pattern on a projector and say, oh, there it is. I do have also pens for this purpose that would work, but I did hear that the ink, they're like erasable pens, and I did hear that the ink sometimes comes back, and so I don't want to do that on something that would matter. Not that it would matter in this, because it's just a little thing that I'm making, but... No. What are you doing? Stop it. Goodness gracious. Okay. Technology in this project has been the bane of my existence. I've had to learn how to do everything from scratch, because I'm not a very technological person, as I've learned throughout the creating of this experience. And I used to be, so that was surprising to me. I was like, oh yeah, everything has changed, and now I don't know how to do anything. So yeah, I had to learn how to create a logo, and how to create a website, how to create images even. Everything seems so much more complicated. You can't just resize an image and have it be easy. You have to pay for software. The world just doesn't want you to resize an image in a correct way. It's just like, no, you gotta subscribe for that. And it's like, well, I just want my image to be smaller. We've survived. We've gotten to the point where creating content for specifically the program instead of just creating content for funsies. Yeah, so I think the hardest part of this project has been trying to figure out very basic technology that maybe I should have even known as a millennial human who grew up with technology. And the second hardest part has been, going full on into it and not knowing if it's going to actually work, if people are going to like it, if I'm going to achieve what I'm hoping to achieve here, which is a lot. I mean, my not expectations, but like my hope is high that I achieve what I'm looking for, which is, long-term stability. So, fingers crossed that the internet stability fairy will come for me. It's okay if it doesn't, also, It's like, my goal of success is different from most people's goal of success, I think, because I'm not looking to, get rich or famous off of what I'm doing. I'm just hoping to create things that are cool, and maybe, I end up with a nice life. So now we're going to put it in here, a little pinky guy. You can see that it's already been in here because I forget how to put it in here, actually. It's like this. Okay. Just get our tablet out of here so we can get a little bit more organized. So, I did for this project purchase some new wool. I do intend to use this for something else also, so I decided that it was a better idea to purchase new wool. I'm also going to be using old wool. You can see that this was a knitting project. I tried to take up knitting last year, and this is about how much of a sock I made, so good on me that I got ribbing down, I guess, or at least I got some ribbing down, but yeah, we're gonna reuse this because I don't know that I'm gonna come back to it, but we're gonna leave myself a little tail end just to, give myself the option in the future at least. So these are different lengths of thread, so I'm wondering how I'm gonna navigate that, but we're gonna figure it out when we get to it, I guess. And I wish that this was actually... There we go. Okay. Now I'm pretty certain that this wants to be taut, like quite taut. So we're gonna kind of tighten it up a little bit. I'm not actually sure how taut it wants to be, but I think if I think that I've done the pattern I think that if I've done the pattern while it's flat, it's not gonna necessarily matter so much how taut it is, because it's not gonna distort it because it's already been on there, right? So I'm hoping that that's enough. Just make sure. Okay, so I think we're gonna do burgundy, or this color for the letters, and then the white for the background. And then for the middle, I think I'm gonna do a little like puffer pad with something else. So we're gonna work on that. This is our little rug tufting item. This is what we got in our little kit. So yeah, and a little, ooh, that's not good. Okay, so this wants to be in here, but it's not any longer because this is a product from, the internet at large. So we're gonna put it back, and hopefully it'll work. And if not, we're gonna tape it. And this is just to get the thread down the looper, I believe. I'm not sure the best way to go about it, but I'm gonna go this way because it feels like the way. Okay. I have an extra hoop. No, I do not. Okay, I'm gonna do this. So I'm using my pegboard and I'm just kind of, oh, that sucks. Okay. So I'm using my pegboard and I'm just putting the pegs in, and then I'm going to use this chopstick and put it through here just so I can have somewhere for my yarn to sit, and hopefully it'll be able to come off the ball without being too annoying. Maybe this won't work. We'll see. Yeah, I think this is not going to work. Alright. I'll try this. I'll try this. There we go. Okay. Guess we're gonna try again. I don't know how that happened. Yeah, alright. So we put it like this, and then we can, whatever, yeah, figure it out. And then, just looks like that. And then, yeah, we can get our thread a little bit easier, one-handed. So I don't know what this was doing, but maybe we're gonna actually use it because we've never done this before, and it'll be a good idea to do a little test area to see if we have figured it out. So put that through here. Okay. And now we want to use one of these guys. And you can also thread this by hand, I guess, probably. Just okay. Don't know how much I have to leave us lead off, to be honest. Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, I want to go the other way. Do I want to go the other way? Do you want to go the other way? Cool! So, should have done it on the back, to be honest, but we got it, so... Ooh, that was not between. Right, that was less ideal. It's actually difficult when you can't see what you're doing. Okay, well, getting it, kind of. So what I think I'm gonna do, actually, we're gonna heal that up a little bit. It actually doesn't matter if we do it on the front or back because we're gonna be taking it out of here anyway, so I think we're gonna do it on the front. And then the back side. Will that work? Do I know how things work? 1 second. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold on. Grab the wall. Jiggle like you're trying to make it ass fall off. Okay. Okay. We go this way. There we go. Not the most stable thing that I've ever done in my life. Try and prevent unwanted loops on the back by keeping it taut, so I've heard. Okay. It's possible that this design is just too small for this. But I do think it might be working, so... Alright, so we've got something going on the other side. Does it look nice? I don't know. It's hard to say. The lengths are all different lengths. definitely a T. I wonder if it's just that I'm going to different depths. Or the thread is just not. I don't know if it's the nicest thing I've ever done, so I think I'm gonna restart, which is possible, I guess. Although, my poor T, my poor warp and weft. It's not the most beautiful thing, but you can definitely kind of restore a warp and weft that's been displaced by just kind of gently putting it back where it belongs, and then gently manipulating the other sides back where they belong as well. It's like it's not going to be the way that it was before you started puncturing it, but okay, let's try again. It's interesting though, it's good to know that it, at least somewhat works. I think that also, like, this needle is too big for this fabric a little bit. Let's see. It's looking better than it did, so we're calling that a win of some sort. A win is a win. I think my letters are going to be too close together, and so this is going to cause some issues going forward. We're still just going to do our best. I think it's funny that they gave a kit, and it's like, cool, we got a kit, but it does not seem like the right size needle for this fabric at all. It's just like distorting everything in the world. Okay, so we lost battery at some point, but we have our first letter. It's a T. I hope you can tell it's a T because it is. And yeah, so we're gonna get working on the rest of them, and hopefully we'll have something that is relatively cute at the end of things, and yeah, we'll have something to show. So there are stray threads and stuff at the back here that I'm going to kind of clean up, and at the end I'm going to glue it down, I believe, because otherwise it's going to make a mess. I'm actually not even sure if this is the other side, so I can't really tell what's cuter, but I think this side is what we're going to go with, just because. And so now we're using our actual thread because yeah, we ran out of the tiny bit, but it's good. This does feel like, in terms of hobbies, quite meditative. Like I'm just doing it and not really thinking about anything, which is probably how meditation is supposed to work. I don't meditate. I'm really not great at it. Again, I think that's the ADHD. Other things, of course, as well, but I think some of it is the ADHD because I've definitely had issues with meditating. I'm a little worried about the H because I feel like it's gonna, well, it doesn't matter. We'll see what happens. Like, why isn't this working? And the answer is, well, you gotta actually thread it first. You gotta actually thread it first before it'll want to work for you, as it turns out. I think that's most things, I think. Just gotta be doing it properly before it'll want to do it. I'm not a thingologist, but as I've learned from doing things occasionally, they do want to be done correctly. Okay, it's still happening a little bit. I can kind of see what's going on the other side. I cannot see what's going on the other side. Alright, that's not going to do anything. Yeah, why? I'm just going to kind of hold it. I'm just going to kind of hold it over here. Is it just too taut? It might be too taut. I thing is, it does work with very loosey-goosey pressure, so I feel like kind of expecting the pressure of the warp and weft to hold it in place. But if that is loose, it's not going to be held. And I guess if the pressure's too tight on the thread itself, also, it's not going to hold. It's just going to pull right out. I do think that this would be significantly more interesting and more fun with an actual tufting gun, because as of right now, it's very slow. But you know, maybe that's just me also. I do know that we're going to be covering the back of this piece because it does not look great. Anyway, maybe we'll finish some of this in post-production, you know? We'll just figure out what the heck happened there. Oh yeah. Don't know how to explain what happened there. I actually don't even know what happened there. I think I'm just actually holding the thread from the other side now, and that's doing something. That's not doing something good though. Doing a great job. This is actually exactly what I've ever wanted it to look like. It's what all the rug tufting magazines led me to believe it would look like. I've never read a rug tufting magazine. That is a jest. A jolly, if you will. Which you won't, because that would be, I don't know what that means. Yeah, so there's definitely not like enough space in between them. Which is funny because it's like you can see there's not insignificant space in between them over here, but yeah, on the other side it just does not look like that. So I don't know what we're gonna do about that. I don't know what we're gonna do about that at this point in the game. Are we gonna call this a loss? We might call this a loss. And that's kind of the thing with the project as well, is like things could just be a loss. I have no way of knowing what that thing might be when we get started, because it's like, you know, we're going into this with ambitious goals, being beginners. It's like things could just not turn out. Like the scale of the piece that I wanted is not the right scale for this medium, and that's just gonna have to be okay. That's what crafting is sometimes though, you know? It's just like you learn something new, learn if you like it, learn if you enjoy the process. I had a feeling that I would still enjoy rug tufting, even if it's not like, you know, the most successful I've ever been at a new medium. We'll say. Yeah, it's not my best work, but it is work. And it is doing something with my hands, doing something with my brain. It's kind of how it works, new crafts, you know? You just get to like sit and think and figure things out. It's like, okay, this isn't for me, or this is for me, but not like this. It's also possible that I don't have enough. I don't know what I was going to finish that with. I don't have enough tension, I think is what I was going to say, because getting in between these is proving quite difficult. Okay, I'm going to take a step. I'm going to take a quick little pause on that, because it's really impossible to see what's happening on this side. So this is the T, okay. T. And then, alright, there is a space in between them, so it's very ridiculously hard to get in here without ruining doing everything, but is it more cleaned up? No. Will it be more cleaned up? I don't know. I don't think so. Okay. Well, that didn't make it better. I guess it also didn't make it worse. I don't think there's any way to make it worse. It's just not, if it's just not working. But what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this and see if that makes a difference. So this should be a thicker thread also. Dang, I lost the little threader for it. Oh, no, I found it. That's good. This is a thicker thread also, so I think that this may make a bit of a difference as well. Could be just that the thread was too thin. But we're gonna use this. Pop it through there. Pop it through here. And see if that does something to like kind of make an outline. If not, we might need to go back to the drawing board. Do something else. Yeah. And I do want to note, because I do have a preference for like natural materials, this is 100% wool, and then this material is a wool blend. So there's that. Natural. Okay. Here. We're gonna hope for the best. We just needed an outline. So much tighter with the thicker fabric also. It's just like, whoa. Getting that in there. Okay, well, it's definitely not perfect, but it's very significantly better than it was, so we're gonna have to call that a win, I guess. Chat, is this a W? Please ignore that I said that. Okay. It's not really a W. We got, yeah. It's definitely not a success from this angle anyway. Weirdly enough, it does look better on the wrong side than on the right side. Maybe the wrong side is gonna be the right side because otherwise it's a bit disastrous. Definitely feel like it's not as taut as it could be also. Actually, I'm not going to go that way since maybe we're using this as the good side. I'm going to go out this way. That was not ideal. Grand scheme of things. Ugh. Oh man, that was not what I wanted to do at all, but I guess we're here now. Stop it. Yeah, I really don't know how they got things to look normal. I mean, on this side it doesn't actually look that bad though. So yeah, I'm still considering using this side. Okay, I really did not want to do that. I think it's gonna end up being off center on purpose because otherwise I can't really get it as taut as I would like. It's like, I do know that you really want to stretch it. It's just not so difficult to do using this. Okay, I think we're getting it. I think it's about the same tension as it was. Alright, well, whatever. I think we're gonna use the front as the back as the front because it just looks better. So that's how it's gonna be, I guess. I have a horrible thread knot. I think anytime you look away from thread, it's just like, well, I've got to become awful. I've got to become the most tangled thing you've ever encountered in your life. I haven't done a lot of thread work, a lot of, I've been sewing, like I said, I've been sewing my own clothes for the past few years, but I haven't really, I do know how to crochet and I do know how to knit on a very basic level, but I've never, I've created a crochet project probably, but I've never created a knit project. So that's also on my list of hobbies to get better at, which is why, some of the reason why I got the thread, and some of the reason why I got the thread is to mend my mittens, which I've been using for the past 2 years, so multi-purpose. And that's what we like to see if we're buying new products, It's just like, will this work for more than one thing? If I don't use it for the project that I am interested in using it for, will I use it for something else? Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. You gotta think about it, because, we live on a planet where we're using so much, too much, so much more than we should be using. It's occurred to me, though, that if I am using the front end as the actual working end, that I might as well have just embroidered it, because it's going to use up so much more thread for, I guess, no reason, because it's not really working. I also feel like there's a burr on the edge of this thing, which is not really making it easier. It's like, maybe it would go a lot better if it was not a huge burr on one side. Just like, in general, things would be a lot easier if we weren't working with the cheapest tools imaginable. And that's the thing, too, with, like, buying online, buying from the megacorps, the JoJo Mart of retailers, is that, you're going to end up with probably the worst, unless you do a ton of research. You're like, oh yeah, they have a beginner item, but it's like, if the beginner item sucks, like really genuinely sucks, it's not going to make you want to be, it's not going to make you want to go further in a hobby if the tools that you're using are inhibiting you, like majorly, because it's like, that's also important. That's important to the hobby and the creative process. It's like, that you're not getting annoyed by what you're working with. Because if you're getting annoyed by what you're working with, you're not going to want to create. The creativity bug is a fickle beast at best on most days. Yeah, the creative bug, it's just a fickle beast, and we're stuck with her whims. So it's like, if you're stuck with her whims, you might as well not be using crappy products like this thing. Although, again, all of this could be user error, because, again, I've never tufted before in my life, don't necessarily know how to do it, don't necessarily know if I'm making, like, major mistakes that would be corrected if I wasn't doing what I'm doing. Okay, well, it's definitely not getting better on the other side. So, God bless a creative project. God bless the gods of creativity. May they shine in my favor, and may they make this work in any way, shape, or form. Also, if you have rug tufted and you want to come tell me what I'm doing wrong, that'd be amazing. Because I do want to do this, like in general. I do wish it was working. Probably, this has actually been a hobby that's been on my interest list for a really long time. So probably, Man, that burr is driving me nuts. So I'm gonna see if I can like, yeah, it's very visible even. You can see here. I do have another, I don't think I'm gonna be able to take that burr off necessarily. We'll see. I'm gonna be right back. Hit a quick pause on this. Okay, well, anyway. We're back. I'm gonna keep out this tapestry needle. I feel like I'm gonna need it in the future. Alright, well, I do think that we're getting more of the hang of it. It's like, are we succeeding? I don't know. Are you winning, son? I don't know. Do wins even exist anymore? You got me. Good question, buddy. Tell you what, definitely kicking the camera here. Oh yeah. Why would you let your body go limp like that? Alright. Got a cat break. This is my fluffy little guy who does not know he's on camera. He's a little confused by the whole setup on the table. But yeah, he's part of this. Alright. Okay, so we're back from unscheduled cat time. Ourselves here. Get our scraps. I'm actually gonna throw that scrap in the garbage so that it's not wandering around. Yeah, so the cat came, hung out. Very lovely, cutie patootie. He's normally not a hanger outer, so we hang out whenever he wants because he doesn't. He doesn't want most of the time. So this kit did come with another tufter. Another little rug tufter, and I'm kind of tempted to see if it'll work better. I think the good news is that you'll, at least from this side, be able to read what it says. The other side is, I haven't actually even checked the other side since I gave up and decided that this side will be the side, but I think it's basically, I don't think it's legible is the thing. I'm just cutting this to take down the bulk a little bit so that it's not so poofy. So we've decided that the other side is the right side, TM trademark. Yeah, my care about the back is just so that it's not overwhelmingly puffy for the rest of the work. We're ignoring it. We're ignoring it. It's like one of the loops came undone, but yeah, maybe we'll go over it again once we get back to a pink color. Really hoping for the best here. I mean, it's not like the worst thing that's ever existed is the thing. It could be better, but it could be worse. Yeah, sure. All right. I would love it if I had. I think what I'm gonna do is I have over here for my sewing stuff a magnet. There we go. Now it wants to do it. But I think I'm gonna borrow some of this chaotic system here. Cool. Well, at least that. Not a single iota of steel in that thing, huh? I guess it makes sense. Tiny little piece of aluminum, but I feel like I've been doing this for 100 years, by the way. Welcome back. It's a few days later, and we've definitely gone much further into our rug tufting. I finished the exterior portion, so you can see the logo of the Odds and Ends Dep. And yeah, we're just gonna clean up a little bit, make sure that anything that is there is supposed to be there. Maybe add just a few more tufts in some locations that are looking a little barren, and then I'm probably going to start with sealing it. So I have this transparent sealer, transparent silicone, so I think that that's gonna work to seal the back and keep everything where it should be. It's not the traditional stuff. And then I'm gonna use this to fill the backing as well, so that it's all the same, roughly the same level. This is just the scrap material left over from cutting off the ends of the threads, so it should just be a flat surface. At least on the back, it should just be a flat surface. And then on the front, we're gonna do something here. So I think that I'm going to, instead of doing this with the tufting product item, I'm gonna do it with just a regular embroidery needle, because I think that that's going to make my life significantly easier. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just gonna use the scrap material and kind of match it to the places where I think I need a little extra. Now, in doing this project, I feel like I very, very much, in hindsight, I think it would have been much easier if I had just embroidered it. I think I give my review of rug tufting, and I'm gonna say that it is not the worst thing that I've ever done, but definitely also not the best thing that I've ever done. It's a bit of an annoying process. It was just so difficult to tell when the actual tufting machine was doing anything, or when it was like pulling the fabric or pulling the thread through. Ooh, that's not what I meant to do. It was really hard to tell when it was pulling the thread through a little bit more than it should have been, or when it was not really connecting with the other side all that much. I found it very difficult to tell. Since each tuft is kind of just in and out, it's almost like if you pull even a little bit too hard, then you're pulling out all of the ones next to it, as well as, you know, itself. So it looks not quite as good. Things happen. Things happen. You just gotta live with it. So yeah, I think that's my review on rug tufting. It would be easier if it was just embroidery. I think that if I had a rug tufting gun, it would have been significantly more enjoyable for what it's worth. So that is something that I'm interested in trying. I think that I would really, again, I think that I do have it in me to really enjoy rug tufting, but I did not enjoy this, is what I'm trying to say politely. I would not do this again in terms of hobbies. Manual rug tufting, anyway. Machine rug tufting, maybe that's a different story. We'll see what happens when it happens. But manual tufting has been rough. I'm actually just pulling fabric from my little, like, scrap bin. This is just fabric that is left over from projects. Things that are, you know, big enough to still use. Alright, well, we're not going to clean it up too much, because otherwise we'll be here for the rest of our lives. I think that looks good enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to seal it with silicone sealant, and then we're going to put it to the side and let it dry for a bit. You're going to work on something else. I'm also going to try and remove the colorful spots from this pile of batting, because I don't want it to show through the backing fabric that I'm going to use, which is quite thin, even though I guess it doesn't really matter because it's going to show through everything else anyway. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work with the sealant in general, and also the sealant in general. Oh, that's quite thick. Okay. Well, that's cut for something else. I wonder if I should. I think it's gonna start flowing quickly eventually. There we go. Okay. Now I think it's gonna start sealing. It's gonna start coming out quicker. It's been sitting in the project bin for a while. I'm just actually don't know how much of this I'm gonna need, so we'll start with that. Just start kinda, I do hope that I'm not pulling all of these out. That would be bad. Obviously I would use different sealant if I was doing this for like, you know, more than this one off, but I think it's working. It's like a little donut. Don't want sealant on my work table. Don't mind a little bit of sealant on my work table, but this will all be contained in fabric also. It's just kind of to protect it, to keep the threads from coming out, which is what I'm most worried about. Because again, they're only like pressure set in there, which is kind of worrisome, to be quite honest. But yeah, this should help with that. Yeah, we're not pulling anything out from the other side, and you can't see it through, so that's good. Whoa, that was a mistake. Alrighty. Now we're just gonna place this in the middle. Okay. I'm a little afraid of this. Ooh, yeah. That is exactly what I was afraid of. I wonder if I should flip it. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Oh no. I think if I ruin it. Okay, hold up. Grab the wall. Okay. Well, I was really hoping that that would like keep everything in place, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But we pivot. That's the point of the program. We pivot. Okay, try again. I do wish I had a smaller spreader. Now that we're in the middle of this. I do have one somewhere, but I don't end up like this. I don't want to touch the sealant really all that much, but I guess we're just touching the sealant now. This is just what's part of our life now. Okay. Now we put them down. Okay, well, that should keep it roughly glued in place. It's what we've got right now. This is what we've got. So we gotta work with what we've got. I have covered myself in sealant, so I'm gonna go wash my hands, and then I'm gonna go do something else for a while, since this needs to dry. Okay, bye! So, we're back. It is the final day of the project, hopefully. The gluing worked. This is all a solid piece of material now, so that's wonderful. And we're gonna do the backing material and the little front material as well. So I have a few. There's this guy, which I don't know if I like. There's this, which goes with the colors really well, but I think it's just too busy. This is a special fabric, so we're not going to be using it, but I do think it's really cute with the colors also. A little sunshiny. There's this, which again I think is a little bit too busy. And doesn't really go with the colors that much, but it goes with some, but it's a little too busy. I do love this fabric though. And then there's this fabric, which I think doesn't really work. And then there's this fabric, which I think is what we're gonna use. This is thrifted. I have no idea what it is, some kind of twill. Maybe synthetic, probably synthetic. I think I might have done a burn test on this and found that it was synthetic, but I think that's what we're going to use. And we're going to use some interfacing because it's quite soft, drapey. So we're going to get to that. Okay. I don't know if this is going to actually work on this fabric. How are you working? Hard to say. It's working a little bit, I guess. Let's go. Let's go. There we have it. A very flawed circle. Alright. Well, you know what? We got close enough. We got close enough to a circle. I have a love-hate relationship with this chalk because Shows up quite bright, but I think it does not wash out very well, so yeah, we'll see if that becomes a problem in the future. Nailed it! It's a circle, if I ever saw one. It's not, you say? Like on one hand that's a circle, on the other hand it's a very bad circle, but we're gonna just accept it. Yeah, maybe I want to go a little on the outside of this just in case. It's all gonna be tucked under anyway, and I did add a little bit of seam allowance on that, but yeah. You know, not everything turns out in the world. It's how the world, there's oil in it. It's truly an explanation for the ages is that I oiled my knife, my rotary cutter, and it's getting on the fabric. Only on the non-using side, so calling it a win. Don't cut my finger off. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect because it's going underneath. You get it. Alright, so now we're gonna do batting. Oh, I think this is just gonna be the easier way to do it. Seems to be working, so calling all of this a win. It's a good thing that batting is a little bit malleable. Because, yeah. Alright. Ta-da! Now we have a centerpiece. Actually, in hindsight, I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna do this. So, I'm going to single strand this. Okay, I think we're gonna go about this a different way because I've lost my mind. So please hold. Okay, so we're using a bit of tissue paper for backing for our embroidery. I'm just using regular thread, and I did do a test patch on the old centerpiece that didn't work out, but we've got it now and it started working. So we're gonna try it and hopefully this will work. Oh yeah, every time with the H. See, this is what happened last time too, where the middle of the H got caught. And yeah, it doesn't seem to be working. That's really annoying because it was so nice in theory, but yeah, it just keeps going into the same spot. Okay, I think we gotta stop that because it's clearly, yeah, clearly that's not working very well. Thank you so much to this. So, yeah, that is real annoying. And I tried it with every single other letter other than the H, and it worked. So I think maybe we just gotta switch to lowercase or figure something else out for that because that's not working. Okay, well that was an ordeal, but we did it. Kind of. It is off center, but it does say thank you, so ain't that nice. Okay, so it's the middle of the night now. I haven't been working on this for hours. Just so you know, I just got a new setup in my sewing room, so that took a while. But we did get the thank you completed, so that's what we wanted. That's what I wanted. I don't know what you guys wanted. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna secure down the batting, and I'm gonna secure down the back threads as well. So they're glued on, so they're not really going anywhere, but just to keep it extra secure. I don't think that I would ordinarily record at night, but I I do want to launch this project in 2 days, so please forgive me for the middle of the night posting. It's not the cleanest looking, I'm sure, but it'll have to do. It's unfortunate actually that we've moved everything around so I don't have much lighting, but you can see what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing. This doesn't have to be all that accurate because it's going to be underneath everything. I'm just going to crisscross throughout the back and the downside to putting down the silicone is that it's real hard to get the needle through. I do have a thimble somewhere that I should probably be using instead of trying to use my cutting table to press this needle in here. It might be easier to use the correct tool for the job, so I'm gonna do that. The problem is that because I've just rearranged everything, we got the classic here. Alright, because I've just rearranged everything, I don't know where to put my stuff. It is actually probably in this one. This one, cute. And then one of these ones. This one is too big for me, I think. I guess we could have also used the wax. I don't know why I always tie off my end when I'm doing a knot anyway. It's just kind of habit, I think. It's not even like a hand sew all that much. It's just. I think it's because my grandmother taught me to do it. It's just been the way that I've been doing it. In the exact moment that I say that the thimble is doing nothing, I reached the hardest piece of silicone that I've ever experienced in my life. We had a slight battery malfunction and now we're back. Malfunction is too loose of a term for what happened, but the battery died. Yeah, okay. Nailed it. We're doing great. Yeah, we've got batting almost all the way around. We just have to finish this little last bit. And crisscross all the way over to here. Am I tired of this? Yes. The answer is strong yes. How am I going to keep doing it, apparently? Also yes. That was a way to pick up a needle if I ever saw one. Just stab the tip directly into your thumb and then pick it out that way. A classic. I love sewing, but I hate hand sewing. I wish I could just pick one or the other. But alas, sometimes you have to be able to do both. So you can see that the thank you is written off center. That was not intentional. I had intended it to be a little bit better, but this is how it turned out. So we're just gonna do our best work here and try and get it in the middle-ish. Just gotta commit to the bib, I think. Even though that's a mother word. Pretend you didn't hear that. Oh, why? Very tempted to fast forward through this because just like emotionally fast forward, physically fast forward. I wish you could fast forward in real life. That would be amazing. If I could just whoop, and then this was all done. I think the worst is not being able to see, so it's like, you know, you have no idea if you're actually doing this in the right spots. Hoping that yes, but it's definitely going to be closer to this side. Oh, my sweet mother of mercy, you know? Sweet mother of mercy. You know when you start a project and you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be not easy, but like you know, because it's my first time doing it, right? So it's like, of course, not easy. That's a given, but like, you know, you don't think that it's gonna take 400 years of your time. Even if you're doing it as a passion project, you know, it's like, does this need to take the whole entire span of 4 days? Not that it's taken that long, but freaking close enough. It's like, does this need to be doing this? And the answer is, I guess, yes. There's really nothing that can make it a better. That's how this goes. So anyway, who up dangling their dong? Gonna have to leave that out. But who up dangling their dog? I think that'll be okay. You know? Who can tell anymore in this current climate that we're in whether anything will be okay? And we just have to go with that. This just has to be what we're dealing with right now. We just gotta wake up, be real normal about it. Hope for the best, comrade. Hope for the best. Get in here without getting in here too much. I feel like maybe, just maybe, this wasn't the smartest way to go about this, but, you know, where's my needle coming out? Okay, well, that's not where my needle should be coming out. Truly mind-boggling, the human experience we got. Alright, well, we got a cat break. It's meowndatory. This is Ivy. Say hi. Yeah, no, that's not saying hi. Mandatory kitty time. Mandatory kitty time. Where's the kitty? She's the kitty. Okay, well, we're back. We had a lot of loving moments, and now back doing this. I think in hindsight, being 2020 and whatever, it's probably not the best way to have sewed this on here. And yeah, maybe I regret it. Maybe I regret it. Maybe I regret everything I've ever done in my life. I think in the grand scheme of things, it would just be amazing if things worked. Just like anything ever. I'm doing fine. I'm doing very normal. Perfect. I nailed it. Nailed it. That's the size I wanted it to get. I think we need to go to bed now. Alright. Well, that didn't work. So I think what we're going to do is this. We want it to be roughly here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pinch this. Did I not say I was going to interface this also? I think that's gone out. That's gone out the window. That's not happening. We're just not doing that anymore. We're gonna cut it a little bit smaller, not too much, but a little bit, so that we're not fighting against all of this. I'm gonna get this on here. That's the last thing I do. Okay, we've tried a bunch of things. A lot of them haven't worked. It is late. We are at our wit's end. I'm at my wit's end. I don't know about your wit's end, but I'm at mine. So end is whitted for sure. We've been whitting our ends all night. I think my end was whitted even this afternoon. Like, it's been whitted for a while. Do I even know what I'm talking about at this point? I don't know. I've lost it. I do not have a sense of reality anymore. I have 3 cats, and all three of them in the last 5 minutes have come to do a little, state their case for me to go to bed. So, I think the cats are winning tonight. I'm going to bed. Okay, so, once again, it is a new day. And we are attempting this one more time. Has this project made me lose my mind? I'm gonna say, yeah, it has. It has. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's been a lot. It's been certainly a series of decisions that have accumulated in my slight insanity. That. I think it's like, some of it is also just, trying to work to build a business while doing this. Yeah, it's one thing to try and do something for the first time. It's another thing to try and do something for the first time while you're also trying to build a business for the first time, and just all of it. All of it is the part that is hard to manage. I do think we're getting there. I should have waxed the thread. Make it so much easier on my life. Somehow it feels like the wax made it worse. It's fine. It is still somehow going, it is still somehow going much faster than it was the last time, so maybe we found the solution. Maybe we got there. It's wild how much faster things go when you're not doing it like the most inefficient way possible. Like, oh, it's almost like doing it the right way garners results of some sort. I'm just gonna do a few little relief cuts in there so that we can get this maybe looking a little bit better. I think the thing with thimbles is that I just hate wearing them. Like, they feel so much like they reduce any dexterity that exists in the world. The world of my hands, but the big bad world of my hands. It's like, oh yeah, I'm not dexterous with this on. It's like the condom of the craft. Oh my god, truly. With this craft, I have lost it. Let's just make sure that we're going in the right hole. Words of wisdom for really any situation, but specifically for sewing, I think. I love a craft. I love truth. I love an arts and craft. That meme lives rent-free in my brain while I attempt to make an arts and craft business. 100 tries later. Okay, it's going much better. Significantly better than the last time, which was not very good. I've picked up so many needles just loosely flying around. That's not what they're doing. I don't know why I said that. Wow. I just put my working needle down in this pile of pins. So, brains. Truly in their best working form. my favorite thing to have happen. It's like, hey, we're gonna use wax to prevent knots, and then immediately get a knot somehow. Because everything just is like that sometimes. You know, everything is just like that sometimes. And we're just gonna, once again, okay, I'm just gonna try again. I'm just gonna try again, because it's just getting worse by the moment. How is it possible to have, okay. Well, nailed that. Okay, maybe we try a less aggressive amount this time. That's unpleasant. Okay, so what's the little getting stabbed between friends in a project? The good news is that I do think I'm going to be done this today, which is amazing. Let me tell you, last night I did not think I was going to be able to finish this. Will the video be done today? I don't know. Mysteries of the ages, truly. If you don't know what that does, the clipping of the edges, it just allows you to turn the fabric, and it allows it to release a little bit better as it's turning. So normally when you turn fabric, it'll create these little lumps, but if you create little release holes or little release slots, then those lumps kind of go down a little bit more. And it just allows you to make a curve a little bit easier. Okay, we're in the home stretch. Home stretch, home stretch. Home stretch, home stretch. Home stretch. I don't know why I'm doing that. I think I started this video assuming that I was normal when I did crafts. And now that I've done this video for as long as I have, a million hours, certain. God, I don't even want to go through the footage of this. Do I even want to be doing this? No, I think I do. I think I do! My poor needle has been through the trenches. It is not having a good time, let me tell you that. There's a lot happening on my phone right now. There's probably a lot happening on all of our phones right now. It's just kind of the way the world is going. But what do we do? Oh yeah, just definitely pop that needle around the wrong way. I gotta stick it to the wrong way around. Was that a Cup song? Oh man, I'm about to fill out my memory card. I got 2 minutes left. Cool. Alright, well we might have to finish this off camera. Did I? Oh man, that's not smart. Alright, well, I wonder if I can fix that. I don't know if I can fix that. Just pop through. Pop through the wrong way. Nope. Alright. Well, we're gonna do this off camera. Hi, thank you so much for coming to the Odds and Ends Dep, watching my series. I swear I've never done this before. I hope this series has inspired you to think about creation in your own life, and how you can get out there and create something new. Has it turned out well? I don't know. It's turned out. Not really certain what this is about, but we did it.